Well, good morning. Welcome to Debbie's Back Porch. So glad to have you with us. Earlier in the week, I made English muffins. And last night, I made Eggs Benedict. So this video is going to be about making Eggs Benedict, and the timing about that's the only thing that's hard. But it's mostly going to be about showing you how to make easy blender Hollandaise sauce, which is what makes Eggs Benedict Eggs Benedict. So here are the ingredients. You can pause and write them down. And hey, while you're paused, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. That would make me very happy. And if you click on the bell at the top right, you'll get a notice when I post new videos about twice a week. Now let's get cooking. So the first thing I do is put a skillet on the stove. This is for the Canadian bacon. I've got some butter melting back here at a low heat. You don't want it to scorch. Just melt at a low heat. We're going to put the Canadian bacon in this skillet. And then I've got some water coming to a boil to poach the eggs. Now you want a fairly big container, and I'm going to salt it pretty well. And then I'm going to put in about a tablespoonful of lemon juice. You could put in some vinegar. You know, I don't know that that's necessary, but I think your eggs turn out better poaching if you add a little acid to the water. It's something I do, and if you poach eggs without it, then that's fine too. Okay, then blender Hollandaise sauce that I'm going to share with you right now. I've never done this, but folks say it's the easiest way to do it. This is 4 egg yolks, and I've got some freshly squeezed lemon juice here, some fresh water, and some salt and pepper, and that's about all that goes in here except for the butter. And I've melted this butter. I didn't clarify it, and on reflection I think I let it get a little bit too cool because my sauce was a little cooler than I liked when it was done. So next time I'll let this butter get just a little bit hotter, or keep it on the stove longer before I start this. But it turned out fine. I would have just liked it to be a little bit warmer, so I'll give you that heads up. So I'm adding in a little salt. I'm just using the back of a spoon here. That was about a 1/4 teaspoonful. And then I'm going to grind in just a little bit of fresh black pepper. Lots of people put a little bit of cayenne pepper. I don't keep cayenne pepper, and I don't really like it, so I'm using black pepper. And then I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons full of the freshly squeezed lemon juice. I took the seeds out, but I don't care if a little bit of the pulp gets in there. So 2 tablespoons full. And then I'm going to put 2 tablespoons full of water. And this is just room temperature water. Now, when you make this, this is an awful lot like making homemade mayonnaise. The only difference really is you're using warm to hot butter. And the thing that's going to help me here. So I've got my immersion blender, and I'm just going to whip these eggs up a bit to get them kind of foamy and creamy looking. And then when I get that done, I'm going to let Athena push the button while I pour in the butter. You know, I really think you need 3 hands to do this, so I'm going to use hers. I'll hold it steady. She's pushing the button. And I'm just going to drizzle this butter in as the immersion blender is going. And you know, when I make mayonnaise, I just put the oil in and do it from there. So you don't generally, I don't generally do it slowly like that using an immersion blender, but this is how the directions read, so that's what I'm going to do. And we're adding the butter, blending. I'm doing this in real time, so you'll see how quick it is. Going to lift that up just a little bit to make sure everything's getting blended in. So just as with mayonnaise, what you're doing here is creating an emulsion. And you know, this is not really hard to do without an immersion blender, just doing it directly on the stove. But it does take an awful lot of blending. And hollandaise sauce has been one of those things that I just have dreaded doing. And this made it really, really easy. So I'm going to do it this way again. Look at that nice creamy sauce I've got there. And it is the consistency, just a little bit looser than, say, mayonnaise. And that's probably because of the temperature. But look at that. My little helper wants to help. If you're not familiar, Athena is my 4-year-old great-granddaughter, and she's my constant companion when I cook. So I predict when she's 10, she'll make her own bread. So here is our hollandaise sauce, and I'm going to taste it. And yes, it's good. And yes, I wish it were warmer. Next time I will make this right before the eggs. Here are my English muffins, buttered, getting ready to toast. And the Canadian bacon is over there in the pan, heating up. Got my water hot. I swirled it around and around, and I dropped the egg in from a bowl. And you can see that when you swirl the water, it makes the egg just fold around on itself. I like a 2-minute poached egg. Most people do 3. But 2 is very, very soft. I take it out in a slotted spoon. See, that's very soft. And that's what I like. But you probably want 3 minutes. And then I set this down in a little bowl in the slotted spoon so that the extra water will drain off. I'm going to go over. We're going to put together our Eggs Benedict. So I have my toasted English muffin. I have my Canadian bacon. I have my egg on top. I'm going to put a couple of slices of nice tomato here. And then I'm going to sprinkle some of my homemade goat cheese on top. My yummy chev. I have a video for this. I'll link it at the end of the video here. And then we're going to put our hollandaise sauce all over the top. And just give it a pour or a ladle, however you want to do it. I like a lot of it. I'm going to put a lot on it. And you know, this is such a light and creamy and not very lemony, just faintly lemony. And it's really just delicious. And this was easy to do. And I'm going to cut into it. And you know, it's really runny. And that's because I like mine really runny. When I fry my eggs, I like to fry them for dippy eggs. So that's what I wanted, and that's what I got. If you cook your egg just a little bit more, it'll be not quite so messy, but to me it wouldn't be as good. A great variation on this, by the way, is some smoked salmon and the goat cheese right directly on the English muffin with the hollandaise sauce. You can make variations. This is so good. And you know, it's a breakfast for dinner, but it's a wonderful breakfast. Thank you for joining us. I hope you like this, and I hope you try it, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. I'm going to eat a while.